Hello and welcome to the VooPlayer weekly webinar. We're going to get started here in just one moment, but before we do, if anybody who's on the call would kindly confirm that both audio and video connections are functioning as expected, and then we can get started. Thank you very much. We're getting some confirmations from Randall, Dean, William that we're all set and good to go. Hello to Clark Otten as well. So once again, this is the VooPlayer weekly webinar call. It's a Q&A session where we aim to answer any questions that you as users may have about VooPlayer or any advanced use cases of video in your business. Also to showcase new stuff that we've been working on, as well as to discuss, organize, and exchange ideas about how to best utilize videos in your business and how we can improve VooPlayer through adding new features or implementing constructive criticisms that you may bring to these sessions. On that note, the format of the webinar is pretty straightforward. So at any time that you have a question, or if you came prepared with any questions, now will be a good time just to type them in the chat box, and we can start answering them in the order that they come in. It is a weekly webinar, as I mentioned, and the weekly replays are available both on our YouTube channel, or will be available soon on our YouTube channel, as well as in our Facebook group. I don't have that in my recents. Groups/VooPlayer, I believe. Yep. All right. And the links to that YouTube channel and Facebook group are in the chat box. So if you haven't subscribed to their channel or joined their group yet, I do encourage you to do so. So just a small update there with regards to the webinars from previous several weeks not being posted yet. We've sorted that out and assigned who's responsible for that. So they should be coming up this week before anybody brings that up. The replays are going up. All right, cool. So additionally, and one more resource for anybody who's just getting started with VooPlayer or people who are already familiar with VooPlayer, docs.vooplayer.com knowledge base is a great resource, and in particular the getting started section, if you're just getting started with VooPlayer, brings up very useful information for uploading your first video or linking to it, and adding features, branding, connecting it to integrations, and how you can observe analytics and performances of your video and then publish it on your platform, and so on and so on. So it's just a good section to go through if you're just new to VooPlayer and are interested in what's the best way to get started. Video tutorials, step-by-step tutorials, and so on. Additionally, I would like to turn your attention to a couple of things inside of the app. If at any time you have a question outside of the webinar, which you would like answered, or would you have discussed on the webinar, you can queue them up by just starting a new conversation from our live chat widget, which is always available in the bottom right corner. You can just click on a new conversation and initiate a new conversation that way. And one more thing, if you just want to see what's new and happening with VooPlayer and contribute to development in a more direct way, you can come over here and click on Submit and Vote on Ideas. That'll take you to our product board where you can see stuff that we're working on, stuff that other VooPlayer users have contributed as ideas for improvements, integration requests, and so on. You can review what's been recently launched, and you can submit an idea of your own, as I mentioned, where you can indicate what's important to you and how it would help you, and indicate how important it is to you. And that way we can get it in front of other VooPlayer users and have them vote on that. So and that'll help us properly roadmap that. So I think that's all of the housekeeping notes that I wanted to share with you guys. A couple of performance updates. So we're heavily working on two things performance related right now. The new conversion infrastructure, which is going to make the uploading process much faster, as we're going to be able to scale it up and down on demand. So that's starting to take shape, and we're almost getting ready to start implementing that that new platform. So that's one of the things that we're working on. And as all of you know, we're working on the new version of the player, which is going to work and look much better and all of that fun stuff. And the beta program for that is open. So if at any time you're interested about learning more about that, we welcome you to join that beta program for testing and help us gather feedback around that. Clark Cotton has a question, which is, can you show the steps to add your email provider to collect data directly? I'll work backwards because there's many ways to add many different email providers, but it's a good question to answer generally. So as you may know, WooPlayer offers lead generation methods which enable you to turn your videos into lead collection forms, if you will. So if we just take a look at this video, which I have here, which is just of this little bunny, I can do several things. I can add an email gate to it, like so, and I can request somebody to enter in their email before continuing to watching the video, or I can add overlays and annotations, which have where do we have opt-in box? We have a full screen opt-in email, then we have like a bottom lower third email gatherer form, and that looks like this, and that can be accompanied by an image, and you can position them however you want. But I'll just use the email gate because it's the most forward one. So you can design your own email gate to look and say whatever you want it to, and that's all well and fine. But basically, the thing that's connecting the events from an email to your email autoresponder or your lead generation collection is this field which says connect to an autoresponder. So by clicking on that, you're going to enable the following dropdown, which is selecting an integration. And there you can select from the available integrations which you've already added. And some email providers and some autoresponders we support natively. And I'll go through that list. For some, you can connect via third-party tools such as Zapier, where you have exchanges of data. You can post to Zapier, and then Zapier can connect to any other platform that's available on that. We also have availability to send data over webhooks. So if your email provider or your CRM or anything like that is able to set up a listening webhook where you can hit them, you can connect to a webhook. So basically, whenever you create an email inside of your video, you want to connect it to an autoresponder by enabling this checkbox and selecting an appropriate integration. And to populate these integrations, you would go to your account settings and click on integrations and APIs. And here you have a full list of everything that's available natively. So you have MailChimp, you have GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, Aweber, Intercom, HubSpot, and ConvertFox, and just a regular email address. So you can just enter in your own email address so we can send data to that. And in addition to, I forgot, most email providers which are not listed on here usually provide an HTML form which you can embed on your website. You can actually take that HTML form. I don't know if I have an example of that. I don't think I do saved in my account. But you can just, for example, I think there's a popular tool called, I think it's Melodic, open source marketing. So a lot of our users use this Melodic, however you pronounce that, and they provide an HTML form, and then you're able to just copy and paste that HTML form and just paste it in here as a code. And based on that, in majority of cases, and if it doesn't happen automatically, we're able to make small adjustments to our code. But basically, we're able to extract the input fields from that HTML code and then add it to WooPlayer to automate simulating the that form which you saw in the video, posting the data to that form. So that works as well. So there's several ways in which you can specify an integration which you're using, either through a native integration, either through an HTML form, either through a webhook, either through a connection with Zapier, and so on. So there's a lot that you can do in terms of connecting that data and integrating with your tools. Also possible with a time gate at like 31 seconds, you gate for first name, last name, email, cell phone. Time gates are powerful now. Yeah, so what I was showing you was a time gate. My video unfortunately doesn't have 31 seconds, but which video was I using? Was it 1, 2, 3, I think? So this gate, as I mentioned, email capture gate, so you can set it up to be shown at any time. So this video I think only has 5 seconds, but let's say I set it up at second 3, it's going to show up at second 3, and then it's going to lock the remainder of the video. You're not going to be able to continue with it. And you can definitely require the name fields to be present, and you can also request for validation of email. So for example, if somebody can't enter in gibberish@gibberish.com as an email, that service is also available. I think that's only available on the enterprise accounts. You can also request the opt-in consent. There's a lot of additional options which you can explore from here. So you have the email and the name, which you can lock, and you can follow that up with an SMS capture. So you can just follow that up with an SMS capture gate, which will require the user to enter in their phone number at a given time if they want to continue watching the video, and that will send off an SMS verification code to their phone, which they need to enter to continue watching the video. So that's verified as well. Nabi saying on the email gate, is the text covered by the play button? No, of course not. That's just the case in the preview that I'm using. William is saying, can't wait for the IP watermark. Will it be displayed according to position settings like overlays? IP watermark, right? So IP watermark is one of the things that we wanted to add and are planning on adding, actually. So how this would work is, as William is saying, exactly, it will work as an overlay. So I would be able to come into here and choose something like this, for example, and position it and say I want it to show up here or wherever in the bottom right corner, and it would display the client information related to the viewer. So it would say, hey, your IP is whatever the IP is from Belgrade, Serbia, and blah blah blah, whatever you're on Chrome, or it will be configurable to some extent, but basically you would be able to change its appearance and position, and that would discourage people from recording the video. Recording the video using a screen recorder and then repurposing that material as their own. More or less, you're kind of able to do that right now. So, for example, if I wanted to say something like, "Hey, your IP is," and that include a custom field value here, which would be called IP value, for example. I'll just save that. Fallback is going to be none. And I'll just save that. And let me just double check just to make sure. Nope. Which one was that? Was that the bottom one? Yep. So let me just change its color just so I'm able to remember it more easily. All right, cool. So when somebody watches this video, now I'll come over here. You're already able to in many different ways, but I'll just use the query string. I need an equal sign because it doesn't work on my keyboard. What value equals 123.123.123.123. So for example, let's say that I'm able to obtain this IP address in some way and pass it on like this. So somebody watching this video is, I don't know if you can see it, but over here in the bottom right corner, it says, hey, your IP is 123.123.123. So you're already kind of able to do this with the use of query strings and cookies and other values that help you pass this into overlays, but we're definitely looking to automate that process a little bit further and make it easier for you to automatically gather that data. Also, can you include Moonsend as an email provider? Moonsend, I think we support Moonsend HTML forms, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen it requested previously. And I don't know if it is on our, let me double check that, if it is already on our request board. So there's a lot of integrations requests on there. We got drip, ConvertKit, ManyChat, Platformly, ConvertBox. Yeah, I don't see Moosend, but yeah, we can definitely consider adding it to the request board. So let me just log into this so I'm able to collect that request. Yep. If you don't have an autoresponder, can you send the data to Google Sheets? If so, how? Yes, you can via Zapier. Can the call now button slide across at a time? Can a call now button slide across at a time? Specific point also. Yeah, the tap to call option. Yeah, that and any, I think more or less any interactive feature that you add in Bool Player is you can specify the time for which you want it activated. Please push the original IP feature. Yes, definitely we're planning on that. Let me just make a feedback point of that as well. All right, cool. That was a flurry of questions, which I think I've answered too quickly as as we ran out of questions now. Can you poll a question midstream? That's interesting. That's something that we've seen a lot of different use cases revolve around the ability to ask a question of some kind and either provide multiple choice or open-ended answers, and then that's something that we're certainly exploring as an option on how we want to execute on that, and we think that that's currently not available, but it could be simulated with funnels, for example. But yeah, you can do that with funnels. If you want them to go to another video, funnels would be a more appropriate use case there. But I was more thinking along the lines of you're showing a video, and inside of that video, you're like, and this is our new t-shirt, and then you ask a question like, hey, do you like the design of this t-shirt? And the answers are, yeah, it's awesome. B, it's not bad. C is it's freaking horrible. And then the person can choose, and you can just provide feedback point on a single input like that. But as far as what you're saying, can you pull a question midstream that and have the answers go back and forth between videos and so on? Yeah, definitely for that, you would leverage our funnels. So let me just send an appropriate article for that, because I mean, talking about funnels would take forever, and there are example videos in here where you can learn more about funnels. But funnels basically allow you to ask questions at any points in video, and based on the answers that the viewers give you, you can either take them to a different point in the video, take them to another video, redirect them to a URL, or and do a bunch of cool other stuff like collect the data on that and automate some stuff. And it's definitely interesting. Way to cover the use case that you've mentioned. So I would definitely recommend looking at the funnels. And there's some example. Actually, I think I sent you just the example for. Wait, let me get the actual article for funnels, video funnels. This is what I wanted to send you. And there's a quick explainer video on how it works and how it's set up. So you do go through both of those articles. They're both very useful. Do we have any other questions? Testing. To set up a course with testing, is there a video to explain setting up a school with courses? To set up a course with testing, is there a video to explain setting up a school with courses? There's not a Wool Player does not provide a method for you to in any way, form, either a learning management system or viewing channel or a subscription platform or, as I said, the school, a learning management system. So we don't provide any of that. We just provide the video player which you use in the existing solution. So for example, if you wanted to create a school, a tool which is quite popular right now, I think it's called LearnDash. So it's a WordPress plugin for a learning management platform, and basically you take that and you create your courses and you create your lessons and you create whatever you want, and you basically just use WooPlayer. The WooPlayer component of that is just the video that you embed inside of the pages on those lessons. So WooPlayer doesn't in any way provide a platform for viewing the videos. It just provides you with the player, which is a rather powerful player, but it doesn't provide you with a platform that allows for organized viewing and progression from videos from one another. Stephen is saying, has anyone suggested that if one has a lot of videos, it might be nice having an option under application settings to choose group view as the default and even add a group to open as the default after login, maybe add a filter in each group block as well. Nobody has suggested that yet. There's been suggestions around it will be good to have, because we have options like, do you want to see 20 videos by default, 50 videos, or 100? I think I remember people suggesting that it would be really useful for them to always have 100 viewed at the same time on the dashboard. But group by default is also definitely an option that we could include. We can definitely explore that a little bit further. So integrated with LearnDash, send the link to LearnDash. I already did. William is saying, did you check out Help Shelf for dynamic support queries? You guys can also pump out replay links in there. I remember discussing this on the last webinar, but I didn't get around to it. Helpshelf.co is reduce support requests and create happier customer. Uh, Give me a reminder on what was I supposed to read up on. Was it us integrating with them? We work with the tools you're already using, WooPlayer. Help Shelf connects to support the support tools and resources you're already using and combines them into one single widget. Less clutter in your navigation bar, one single easy to find destination for your customers to rely upon. So they're integrating with us. I don't know how. Demo at right bottom right. Right bottom right. This. Oh, so using WooPlayer in the support widget, is that what we were supposed to? Tracking users, contact. Yeah, I so just including videos inside of the chat widget that they have, or including their chat widget inside of our videos. I'm curious which one was it. Clark is saying, great overview. Have a great day. WooPlayer is the go-to player worldwide. Awesomeness. Have a great day as well. Please do enjoy the webinar. William is saying, demo at bottom right. Yeah, and I know. I'm just curious because with these and there, we usually get requests for like ManyChat or Drip or platforms like that, which provide chat widgets, but the integration request is usually unclear on whether the intent is to serve our video inside of the chat widget or serve the chat widget inside of the video player, because we have both use cases and sometimes it's unclear what the user wants. So if you can just clarify on that, I can follow up maybe via a separate conversation. In the meantime, if anybody else has any questions, we're shortly running out of time, so now would be a good time to ask your question. Serve links. It's an autocomplete support widget. Link to LearnDash once again. Learn Dash, yes. So here's the link again. I mean, that's just one tool that I've that was on the top of my mind because we have a lot of people who are using it. So I remembered it as a learning management platform, which is pretty easy to set up if you know WordPress. So that's why I brought it up. But there's tons of other solutions that you are available to leverage. Rick is saying, I don't get email with recorded webinars anymore. What gives? We'll look into that. I'm not sure. That should definitely be sent out. That's not pending our on our whatchamacallit uploads. So I'll take a look in why the replays are not being sent anymore. Play with it and see. Thanks. Be well out there. All right. Sounds like we're good on today. We have no further questions. Thanks to everybody who joined this week, and hopefully we'll see you next week. And thank you for continuing to take the time to help us improve WooPlayer and to find a better solution for your videos and your business. Have a safe and great week, Stephen, and everybody else as well. Goodbye.